One significant feature in our economy has been, despite a debilitating war, huge areas of destruction by the terrorists, our per capita income grew from 1,241, almost doubled, to 2,391 during a period of 5 years, when it took from 1948, since our independence, up to 2005. It took so many years, 40 odd years, to get to 1,241 US dollars, but within just 5 years, and that too with a war against terrorist groups, we have been able to double our per capita income. But our aim is to be at 4,470 by 2016, just in another 5 years. Our inflation, as the governor very clearly said, has come down from 5.7 to, of course, it had come up to about 7.3, but we hope to get to 4.0 in 2016. But let me also highlight a very important area. Our unemployment is at the lowest ever, at 4.9%. We have had a rate of unemployment at 7.2%, but our plan is to be at 3.2%. Two interesting statistics. We have always had a very high literacy rate of around 90%. In 2005, it was at 95. In 2010, it's 97. But by 2016, we want to ensure that it goes up to 98%. Something that we can be proud of, I'm just going to present to you next. We have also been working on improving our literacy in IT, in information technology. It was as low as 9.7 in 2005, rose to 35% in 2010, largely due to the intervention, the personal interventions of His Excellency the President, when he declared 2009 to be the year of English and IT. And that has enabled us to focus more on villages, more on rural areas, more on disadvantaged groups. Now, as Governor said, you see young people wanting to open internet kiosks in the north. But our aim is to be a country with an IT literacy of 75% by 2016. And that is how we could be a knowledge hub when it comes to the improvement of the 5 hubs that we were talking about. Towards creating a knowledge hub, I'm going to take each one of these hubs and then maybe articulate the thoughts in it. Of the 5 economic hubs envisaged in the Mahindra Chintana, the knowledge sector has matured and progressed further than others. Probably because we have had a good grounding in education, good grounding in other social indicators. We have a system of free education right up to the university, up to the first degree. That has enabled almost entirety of our children. We have about 350,000 children being born every year. We want to ensure that all these children enter grade 1 of government or private schools. We are aware of this potential of this sector because it can drive development and become a key employment generator. And the government, therefore, lends its full support to the ICT sector, placing it in the forefront of its development effort. The knowledge sector is also an area where the government and the private sector work close in collaboration with common objectives and goals. Because as you know, the IT sector, the primary area of growth is in the private sector. That is where the growth is all about. And in doing so, the private sector has been able to make sure that Sri Lanka becomes a very attractive destination for the BPOs. In achieving the knowledge hub status, the government is also looking towards creating a $1 billion IT BPO industry with an increase of 100,000 to 150,000 in the workforce, making it a top foreign exchanger for the country. That's the knowledge hub envisaged in the Mahindra Chintana. We're also keen to become a hub in our ports and naval field. Ports and shipping plays a significant role in the economic development in Sri Lanka, particularly being an island nation. and also because of its strategic location in the international sea routes. The strategic geographical location of Sri Lanka for trade, transport and transshipment activities create a great potential to consolidate its position as a naval and aviation hub of Asia. The government policy for the port sector is to ensure adequate ports infrastructure facilities and services available to facilitate increasing export and import trade. Towards accelerating activities in the port infrastructure development, several mega port projects have already been launched during the last 4 years, 2006 to 2010. The main ones being the Colombo South Harbour project, the Hambantota Port Development Project, a brand new port in the deep south, the Oluville Port Development Project in the southeast of Sri Lanka, and again in the south, the Galle Tourist Port Development Project. In aviation, that's the third area that I was talking to you about, Sri Lanka observes a sharp increase in tourist arrivals, once again thanks to our brave armed forces who have freed this country from the scourge of terrorism. We have seen trade volumes going up in 2010 as a peace dividend. With these latest tourist arrivals and with large ones and cargo operations, the aviation industry has an increased demand for movements of passenger and cargo transportation. To facilitate domestic aviation, we will have a wide spectrum of initiatives. We have also already done some of these. Investment in the aviation sector alone is around 1.9 billion rupees for 2010. In 2010, the only international airport we have saw a 19% increase in the aircraft movements. Passenger movements increased by 26%. Additionally, we are building a second international airport in the south of Sri Lanka, again very close to the Hambantota port in the deep south, at an estimated cost of $220 million US. The fourth hub that I want to present to you is the power and energy hub, to be an energy hub in Asia. The power sector has received one of the highest priorities in the government development agenda since 2006. Now, with this substantial investment, we will achieve 100% coverage in electricity to households, factories, and industrial establishments. And that will be by 2012, that's next year. Already we have a coverage of about 85%. Those areas that have been destroyed in the north and the east is the balance 15% that we will need to be concentrating on, and of course some of the areas in the south. The demand for electricity has been growing at an average rate of 8% annually in the background of an annual economic growth of 6.4% during the 2006-2010 period.